Well, I was gonna have to do this eventually, wasn't I? So I might as well get it over with. Here are 19 reasons to read Black House. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Dave Musson, at Dave Musson on Instagram, and this is the place where I give you 19 reasons to read each and every single one of Stephen King's books. If that sounds like something you would like more of, why not click around the rest of my channel, have a look at the other videos, and if you like what you see, consider subscribing so you don't miss any in the future. Okay, so in this video we're up to 2001 and one of my least favourite Stephen King books, Black House. Now, I like to think I'm a diligent YouTuber and I can do my best to put my personal feelings about this book aside to still give you 19 reasons to check it out. So that's what I'm going to try and do in this video. And as always, I'm going to cluster any spoilers at the end of the video and give you fair warnings. So if you need to leave before then, you can do. So we might as well do this. Come on, it can't be that bad, right? Here are 19 reasons to read Black House. So this isn't just a King book, it is a book that he co-authored with Peter Straub, as you've probably noticed from me waving the cover in front of your face. And you've probably clocked that that's the same crack duo that wrote The Talisman. And yes, Black House is the sequel to The Talisman. Now, The Talisman is also a book that I didn't like, but again, I'm going to try and put that aside to give you 19 reasons to read this one. So this actually doubles up as a sort of 2-in-1 reason to read Black House. If you liked The Talisman, it's the sequel, you'll like it. If you didn't like The Talisman, this is actually better than The Talisman, so it's worth giving it a try, okay? So as you'll already know, if you watch my Guide to the Dark Tower, you will be aware that there's lots of Dark Tower stuff in Black House. So if you're a Tower head and you want the full experience, you do need to read this one. As to how Peter Straub felt about all of that Dark Tower saga and epic being shoehorned into this book he co-authored with his friend, I guess we'll never know. Something that is a little fresh and different in Black House is its location. We are not in Maine anymore, folks. We're in Wisconsin, which is the home state of Peter Straub, who is definitely not British, like I said he was in my Talisman video. Oops. So apparently one chapter of this one is written around Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Now, I totally do not remember that chapter at all, but it's on Wikipedia, so it must be true, right? So what's the hook of this one then? Well, we're in the little town of French Landing, Wisconsin, and they have been rocked by a series of murders by a madman who they've dubbed the Fisherman because he seems to be deliberately emulating the methods of the real-life killer Albert Fish by stealing children, killing them, and eating parts of them. At the start of the book, 2 kids are already dead and a 3rd body gets discovered. So when a 4th child gets taken, that's when things really start getting desperate for the town, and they turn to one Jack Sawyer, a local resident having fallen in love with the place during his career, who has retired from a very famous career as a policeman and is at first resistant to get involved. But the longer things on, the more he wears down and he does get involved, and the rest of the story is Jack trying to work out who the fisherman is, what the hell's going on, and what it has to do with these weird memories he's sort of got hidden in the back of his head from childhood. All while trying to stop young Tyler Marshall from being the next victim. So the opening of Black House is something that does divide constant readers a little. Because of its style, it's written in this weird present tense meandering ramble that gives you a quite literal bird's eye view of the town, and it goes on for more than 100 pages. It's quite a weird style to get used to, and well, for me, I found it just pretentious and annoying, but I know plenty of people do love it, so just be aware of it because it is unusual and it does take you out a little bit when you start off. So there are actually some good characters in this one which make your time spent in French Landing a bit more bearable. The first is the best character of this book, Henry Layden, a blind local radio DJ who's got loads of different personas, is incredibly knowledgeable and passionate about music, and is Jack Sawyer's BFF. Like I said, he's the best character in this book and frankly, it's just fucking cool. So then we've got Wendell Green, the reporter on the local paper who will do anything for a story, including starting a mini riot and generally being a bit of a knobhead. You will love him as a character because he's one of those characters you can legitimately hate whenever he appears on the page. He's petty, he's snarky, he's nasty, and ultimately he's a bit thick. The bad guy is actually pretty good in this one too. I'll save more details about him for the spoiler section, but right now I will just say that for a pretty weak book, the villain is actually quite good. I suppose we can count Jack Sawyer as a cool character, kind of. I mean, he's definitely more likeable as an adult than he was as a child in the Talisman, put it that way. Now, because of Henry's love of music, lots of band names get mentioned in passing in Black House. Lots of real bands like Black Sabbath, but also some fictional bands which have some incredibly cool names. I will give you 3 incredibly cool fictional band names from Black House. Bear with me. We have Dirty Sperm, Slobberbone, and the Snivelling Shits. Nice. Oh, did I mention the gang of craft ale brewing, philosophy reading, hairy bikers? They're a thing in this. Do I like them? I don't really know. They're kind of interesting and annoying at the same time. There is also sort of a nice nod to It in this one, in that Jack has totally repressed his memories of his adventures in the Talisman and his time flipping to the territories and travelling between worlds and trying to find that thing to save his mum, just like the Losers Club did in It, where they repressed their memories of battling Pennywise. A King, and I'm assuming it's King who wrote these parts, is very good at a character finding a small thread of something in their mind, tugging on it, and watching as more comes out and more things unravel. Okay, we're entering the spoiler zone, so if you need to leave here, please do so, and I will see you again soon. So back to that killer, Charles Burnside, or Carl Beerstone to give him his real name, who appears to be a bed-bound old man vegetable in a nursing home, but is actually an agent of the Crimson King, has the ability to flip between worlds and go into the territories, and can snatch children off the street from his nursing home bathroom. He's also dangerous, scary, has a crow that talks to help him in his evil ways, and, as I said earlier, is pretty strong as a villain. A lot of his scenes are easily the most memorable in this book. So one such scene is where our killer murders our favourite person, Henry. Now, Henry's lack of vision just makes his predicament absolutely impossible, and it's a quite harrowing, gory and bloody scene. So the Black House itself that's mentioned in the title is actually a portal between our world and the territories, and has a whole load of quirky stuff going on with it, including making people forget that it's there, making people feel ill if they get a bit too close, and having some giant, scary, demonic black dog guarding it and biting people if they get really close. There's probably other stuff about it, but I just can't remember them right now, and I can't be bothered to Google them because I don't like this book. So I mentioned Dark Tower stuff, and there is plenty. Tyler Marshall, the kid who has the potential to be the Fisherman's 4th victim, turns out he has the potential to be one of the greatest breakers of all time. Alongside that, there's other Dark Tower stuff mentioned, including a nod for one Ted Brautigan, some mentions of the Little Sisters of Illyria, the Crimson King, of course, and other stuff. Okay, I'm struggling now. I mentioned it was better than the Talisman, right? I mean, low bar, but why not? So lastly, there have long been rumours that King and Straub were going to team up again and write a 3rd book in the Jack Sawyer saga and make it into a trilogy. Now, unfortunately, Peter Straub has been quite ill for a while now, which kind of makes that possibility not very likely. Shame. But having read the excerpt from the as yet unreleased fairy tale, which is coming out in September of 2022, it does kind of make me feel a little bit Talisman-y, Black Housey vibes coming off the page, and it does have me wondering whether King is going to make a certain Jack Sawyer raise his twattish head again. I guess we'll find out later in 2022. So there you go, 19 reasons to read a book I actively dislike. What more can I say? Let me know if you're a fan of this one in the comments. Let me know all the other reasons I've probably missed because I just wanted to grit my teeth and bear it and get through this one. And let me know if you prefer this to the Talisman. Now, if you enjoyed this video, well, I'm impressed. There are much better ones on my channel, but if you like this sort of thing, me talking about Stephen King, go and click around the rest of my channel. There's loads more. Lots of videos covering all of the books and a few specials as well. And if you like what you see elsewhere on the channel, then why not click subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. If you want to come and chat on Instagram and tell me that I'm wrong about Black House and that it's actually a literary masterpiece, then do come and find my profile. I'm at Dave Musson and I'm always happy to chat in my DMs. Thank you as ever for stopping by. It really does mean a lot, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.